What's going on, everyone? Welcome to my final consecutive streaming day of the week, and on today's Level 1 podcast, we'll be talking about a variety of gaming news topics and more. I'll see you after the bump. Alright, welcome to the show, my friends. I, of course, am Phil. Just allow me to get my leaderboard nicely centered. And welcome to the show. Today is Tuesday, the 9th of May, 2023. And I hope you're doing well. I am excited for today. It should be a fun day full of gameplay streaming. A double gameplay stream day, by the way, here on DSPGaming. After some variety yesterday, where half the day we did Elden Ring, and then the second half of the day we did a special tier maker event over on DSP Reacts. We will talk about that in a little bit, to talk about, you know, how I feel that went. And Jasper is here. He's on the floor. And he was actually over there laying down. And as soon as I started talking, now he's jumped up. I wonder if he's going to start crawling all over me yet again. Interesting. Anyway, final consecutive streaming day of the week. It's been a 6-day week. It's been a fun one, although there has been a little bit of weirdness with the no Sunday night stream because I had to do the private patron react videos. And then yesterday I did the tier maker event. Still a fun week. Still a full week of you know, gaming goodness as well as other things. And what I'm happy about is that today there actually is a pretty good amount of news to talk about, so that we actually could end the week on a high note and covering various topics. Although I do enjoy having podcasts where it's just a lot of us talking back and forth, actually having some information and news to cover is usually a good thing for a show like this. And a lot of things actually have happened in the last 24 hours. Pretty interesting things in the gaming industry, so we will discuss that today. But today is also a full-time streaming day with both the continuation of Jedi Survivor and Oblivion Shivering Isles DLCs. So hope you guys are ready for that as well. By the way, I hope that I find you healthy and happy, and if not, then hopefully I hope that my content today will do something about that, maybe cheer you up. Now, Jasper, he laid on my lap already. What are you doing? You're laying on my lap. We just started. This is very silly. I wouldn't mind Jasper laying on my lap, but when he does this, I'm going to get incredibly warm within like 2 minutes. You know? I'm like, oh, I got to do a show. And now my entire lap is sweaty. So, Jasper, I'm sorry, buddy. I know you like to be here. I know you're nutty kitty. Oh, now he wants to bite me. No, you're not going to bite me. Absolutely not. That's not allowed. All right, come on. We got to get you off me so that I can do my show. What a silly guy. All right. So, yes, he will be here today. From what I can see, today should be a cooler day than yesterday. Yesterday we had full sun outside, and whenever that happens, this office heats up a lot in the afternoon. But it looks like it's going to be cloudy today, in which case I hopefully will not need... Oh, Jasper, don't eat. Do not start eating the wire now. Jasper, that's it. You're in big trouble. Jasper, stop. I don't want to spray you, but you cannot eat the wire. You understand? You cannot eat that wire. Yeesh, it's my headphone wire. He's going to get in trouble. You know, he's going to get hurt. Anyway, what was I going to say now? So it looks like it's going to be a cooler day, although this coming weekend, starting apparently on Saturday, we're going to have a giant heat wave. And it's only, you know, mid-May, and we're about to have a heat wave where it's supposed to go into the 90s, you know, temperature-wise Fahrenheit, and that translates, on days that it's in the 90s outside, that translates that in this room it's about 100 or more. So I'm very glad that I have the air conditioner in, and if I need it, I can turn it on and cool everything down. It would really suck if it was over 100 degrees in this room. So good thing that I installed it a couple weeks ago. So we should be okay for that, but, you know, it is what it is. I'm going to handle it. And I like having Jasper in the office. Usually when I start playing games, he doesn't chew anything. It's usually, you know, he's trying to get my attention now during the podcast, so I don't think he'll be too much of a distraction today. Okay? So, welcome everyone. what I was saying was that I hope that, you know, my Jasper, what did I say? Why are you not listening? Don't do it. I hope that my content today will cheer you up in some way. If I could stop yelling at my cat for more than 2 seconds here. He just keeps trying to chew this wire. All right. Anyway, so welcome to the show, everyone. It's the 9th of May. Surprisingly enough, it doesn't feel like we're 9 days into May, does it? It really doesn't. I feel like the month just started, but it's kind of flying by. At the same time, I don't feel like we've made much progress in many games. Like, if you take a look, the game we made the most progress in is Elden Ring, right? Jedi Survivor's, you know, kind of been on hiatus for a while there for performance issues. By the way, Jedi Survivor got a big patch this morning. I booted up my Xbox Series X, and it was downloading a significantly large patch. And I'm actually taking a look now at the game here. If I go to the Manage Game and Add-ons page, yeah, it's updated to version 1.0.0.6. Jasper, really? Really? You're going to chew a different wire now? No, you're not. Now stop it. Behave. You know you're not to chew any wires in this room. Stop it right now. He knows he's in trouble. Because now he's acting, oh, yeah, you can't chew my wires, man. You're going to get hurt. He goes over here and starts trying to chew the cable to the ring light. Yeah. Anyway, so a pretty big update. I think it was several, like maybe like 20 gig update. But I don't know what they've actually updated in the game. Last time around when we played Jedi Survivor, I spent 2 hours doing an optional boss fight. So I'm here to tell you guys I'm not doing that crap anymore. Like, at this point, whenever we play Jedi Survivor, I got to make progress. I can't be messing around and wasting time. So we're going to do all story today. You know, we're actually just arrived at the Forest Array. And we're going to be doing that, you know, beating that today. And hopefully we'll beat the planet, you know, Kobo, and move on to other areas of the game. I hope. I guess we'll see. But, you know, I would like to make big progress today if possible. No more jumping into optional bosses that take hours to beat. It's too ridiculous at this point. But what's funny is, you know, we've been playing this game now for about a week since I decided to go back to it, and it still runs like crap. Like, the frame rate still dips. It still has tons of issues. I mean, last time around, I mean, no exaggeration, I earned a pair of pants. I put the pair of pants on Cal, and the game crashed. And then the game reloaded, and it hadn't saved any of my progress for 15 minutes, and I had to redo the whole segment. And it was like, a pair of pants crashed the game. It doesn't, like, the game just screams lack of polish. And it's sad. A game, again, that likely would be amazing if it was polished. But a game that didn't take the time to be polished before it released, and now it's just a joke. How bad it's crashing and the performance issues. So I'm curious what this patch today actually did. You know, if it was a 20, 30 gig patch, you would think that's a significant size. Maybe it fixed a bunch, or maybe it didn't. I don't know. I guess we'll see. But I hope that it runs better. Seriously, every time I play this game, I'm like, man, I hope it runs better today. And it hasn't yet. You know, at this point, I want to say we're like 12 hours into it. And the game has not really... Actually, we're 8 hours in? No, we're 10 hours in. Okay. We're 10 hours into it, and the game hasn't significantly improved. It's still got issues, you know. I say 10, it's actually 11 hours, because I just realized the parts that I did last time were 90 minutes long each. So, anyway, I'm excited for more. I hope the game is good today, and I hope you will join me for this first gameplay segment of my stream. 3 hours of progress in Jedi Survivor, and let's see where the game takes us. Hopefully somewhere interesting. On the late stream tonight, 6:45 p.m. Pacific time, it will be Oblivion, the Shivering Isles DLC, continuing on. You know, when I did this earlier in the week, it was kind of 50-50. The first half of my stream, I'll be honest, was very frustrating, because they sent you to a dungeon with a bunch of new bug creatures, but you had to constantly be drinking this what was it called? Fell juice? No, it wasn't juice. It was some kind of, like, goo. You had to keep chugging this goo. It was the only way they would let you in the cave. Like, why did I have to drink this goo to get into the cave? It's so weird. Fell dew, is that what it was called? Fell dew. And it was dumb, because you had to keep finding the fell dew, and if you didn't, all of a sudden, now you're over encumbered, you can't move, you're weak. Like, this is so frustrating. It was super duper frustrating. I don't know why they made it like that, because I don't know how anyone could play that and be like, oh, that's just fun. No, it's not fun. You made the game hindered, and it's very annoying. But we got through it. It was like an hour segment of annoyance. But we got through that, and then we got to the second half of the stream, which was a different kind of quest. We were kind of investigating a conspiracy against someone, and that was more fun. So we'll see what happens tonight as we continue on with the quest lines and the Shivering Isles DLC. All right, that should be fun. It's always a chill time. It's always some good interactive fun on the late streams with Oblivion. So that's today. Now tomorrow I'm off from streaming. Hope that you all have a safe and fun day. And remember, I did a lot of content this week between progress in Elden Ring and Star Wars Jedi Survivor, Oblivion, and Final Fantasy V Remake. Then we had DSP versus the Internet, my Clips React show. We had a tier maker last night that ranked all the Zelda games. All right, so a lot of content. I'll actually talk a little bit about that in a moment here to give you my thoughts on it. So great stuff. Good variety of stuff this week. Lots of stuff to catch up on if you didn't see it all. And I hope that you will. And if you do, please remember to like the videos if you're enjoying them. That helps a ton. Leave comments. That helps a ton. And then when I come back on Thursday, we jump full force into more gameplay. It's going to be another major Elden Ring stream. This time around, probably trying to finish up the capital or Imperial City. And then moving forward, wherever we go next, it could be Deep Root Depths. It could be the Astal River / Noxtella. It could be the underground sewer dungeon under the city that leads to Moog. It could be many different things. I'm not even sure what we'll do yet. We'll have to think about it, okay? And then Thursday night will probably be more Final Fantasy V Pixel Remaster. And then Friday is the big release of the month, I would say. It is The Legend of Zelda, Tears of the Kingdom. Coming out on the Switch. I'll be getting it and playing it all day long on Friday. So we're going to get a good chunk, 5+ gameplay hours into the new game. Seeing what it's all about, seeing if these crafting mechanics really are as significant and expansive and extensive as what they seemed to be in the gameplay previews we've seen up to now. Is this whole game based now around crafting? In which case, that's going to significantly change the gameplay of a Zelda game. So that's Friday all day. Saturday will be DSP versus the Internet, my weekly Clips React show. Saturday night, I will likely play more Zelda, so that way we're getting a good amount of Zelda in. Sunday, we'll probably alternate back, maybe do some Jedi Survivor and Oblivion, and then we got Monday and Tuesday, which are pure gameplay days with no distractions, okay? So all gameplay alternating probably between Zelda and Jedi with chill night streams, okay? Cool. So what else is going on this month? Well, keep in mind, I have a big event coming up, and it is coming up on May 21st, and it is called Godzilla vs. Kong. Okay, no, that was the wrong thing. It is called DSP's Fight and Feast. All right, it is a... I clicked the wrong thing. It is a marathon event that I'm doing on Sunday, May 21st. And this event will feature a wide variety of stuff, including classic challenge runs of old school Street Fighters on the highest level of difficulty per your choices in polling during the event. And also, you will pick the characters as well, so it's going to be fun. There's going to be some Street Fighter 2, some Street Fighter 3, maybe some Street Fighter Alpha, based on what you want to see during the event. There's also going to be tier maker events, where I'm going to be ranking fighting games, fighting game characters, and other things in various tier maker rankings during the show. Also, where does the feast come in? Well, my wife will be making several different recipes out of the Street Fighter cookbook, and I'll be tasting those live, reading you the stories and the lore behind them out of the book, and then actually doing live taste tests for you guys to see if these recipes are actually any good. I'll likely have a full-length meal as well during the day at some point, order some food. And then lastly, it looks like you guys want to do a battle royale, a fantasy battle royale, which I would totally be fine with. So if we do that, it's in WWE 2K, and I'll try to get as many fighting game characters as I possibly can together in a fun battle royale setting, and see who is the ultimate fighting game, warrior, who they're fighting for supremacy, because this year we got Street Fighter 6, Mortal Kombat 12, and Tekken 8 all coming out, so who will be the ultimate king of the mountain when it comes to fighting games? I guess we'll find out. So this is a very special event. I'm excited for it. Why are we doing this event this month on the 21st? Because June 2nd is the release of Street Fighter 6, and this is a great way to get hype built up for fighting games again after me having been away from fighting games for so long. All right? Now, something has happened in the news that I figure we should address now. All right? It was just announced yesterday. Street Fighter 6 is going to have an open beta. That is right. An open beta where you'll be able to play Street Fighter 6 online for 3 days. And it doesn't matter what console or format you have. It is open and free for everyone. Okay? It's running from May 19th through the 21st. That's right. It's actually taking place the same day as my marathon. And you say, well, why are you not playing the beta then? That does, that doesn't make sense. You love Street Fighter 6, you're interested in it, you're even doing a hype marathon to get hyped for it. Why aren't you doing it then? Well, there's a very good reason why I'm not doing it then. You ready? Because it's the same freaking beta I've already played twice. Like, they've already outright said, this is exactly the same as the beta that we did in December. Same exact characters, same exact gameplay. We haven't even updated the gameplay of the beta. It's literally the same client. The only difference is they're going to let everyone play it instead of just a small select group of people that they picked for a closed beta. So it's exactly the same. All right? Now, here's the other problem with that. If you guys aren't aware, there was a ridiculous amount of people who cracked the beta back in December on PC. And there have been, no exaggerations, hundreds, if not thousands of people who've been playing this beta for 6 straight months, and they mastered the 8 characters in the beta. That's pretty stupid. They weren't supposed to be able to do that. Just like everyone else, they were only supposed to be able to play the beta for 3 days and then not play it ever again. But instead, they've been playing the game for 6 straight months. So because of that, you're going to have people in this beta that are literally just going to body everyone. Wow, look what I learned. An insane master level combo after 1 hit. No one else has even played it yet. But watch this. A whole 80% life bar. What the fuck? So, what I think is that sadly, even though the idea of an open beta is a good idea, because they're not adding any new characters, they're literally saying, so this is just going to be open season on noobs. You're going to have hundreds of people, if not thousands, who had the hacked beta, who are just going to beat the shit out of all the people who've never touched the game before. It's going to be completely one-sided, unfair, and super unfun. I don't even see the point. If they had said, okay, it's an open beta and we're adding in a whole bunch of new characters, or guess what? It's only new characters that you never played before. Now everyone would be on an equal playing ground because no one has touched these characters. And it would make sense to do that, but Capcom opted to basically be lazy and just say, we'll just re-release the same client from December 5 months later, and now everyone can play it with 0 effort. Okay? So, taking a look at it, I'm like, there's literally no point. Number one, I've seen all 8 of these characters. All right? I've played with them. I know them. I know how they play in the game. Did I master them? No. I only played in the 2 closed betas for, maybe 1 or 2 sessions each. But at the same time, I don't want to play with them again. The next time I play Street Fighter 6, I want to play with the style of character that I like. For example, Zangief, E Honda, Blanca. I'm very interested to see how DJ plays, because DJ is a character who used to be one of my high-level competitive characters in Super Street Fighter 2 Turbo. What about the new characters, like Manon? Is it Manon or Manon? I still don't know. I haven't heard a single person pronounce her name. Or Marissa. These are characters that are new, interesting builds that I'd like to check out. None of them are in the beta. You got to buy the full game to play them. So it's like, well, I don't want to play Ryu and Ken. We've seen Luke. We've seen Kimberly. I've seen Jamie. Yeah, even if, like Cammy or something. No, nothing. Nothing new. So forget it then. Like, I literally don't want to spend another weekend playing the exact same thing again. So I'm not doing it. I'm skipping it. All right? And it makes sense anyway. I'm going to be very busy with the games I'm playing and trying to finish by the end of the month. I'm going to be heavily into Zelda. I'm going to be trying to make progress and get through Jedi Survivor. And I'm not going to have time now to take another weekend out from me doing all this regular gameplay to do a beta, So in some ways, maybe it's good they didn't do a beta with new characters, because I probably wouldn't have had a lot of time. It would have taken away from the other stuff. So that's what I'm saying. So that's what we're going to do. We're still doing the Fight and Feast. It's still on May 21st. That's not changing at all. All right? And for those of you who want to play the Street Fighter 6 beta, enjoy. Maybe many of you will play it for a couple of days and kind of get burnt out on it and want something new to do. Come over to the channel and watch me play classic Street Fighter and try some recipes and do some tier maker stuff. Some good variety stuff. All right? I'm actually thinking, like I did with previous marathons like this, I might actually take some shots if we get big contributions. But this time around, it won't be gin. Maybe I'll get something different. Try to think, like, what would be good for shots? Maybe some tequila or something. Right? I'll take tequila shots for Street Fighter. I don't know why tequila and Street Fighter will go together. I'm just saying maybe something a little different. Okay? So, good stuff, all right? And I hope you guys will join me for that event. Now, there we go. We got that talked about. Outside of that, there is potential I'll play some other new games this month. There's a new Amnesia game, as well as a Lord of the Rings Gollum game. But if I play those games, it's really going to be dependent It's really going to be dependent on how far we are in the other games and how much you like those games, because I don't want to take too much time away from the games I'm focusing on. You know, Jedi Survivor, Zelda, and potentially trying to get through Elden Ring this month are kind of my priorities, all right? I want to try to wipe the slate clean and not have too much lingering when June comes, because in June we're going to have Street Fighter 6, Diablo 4, among many other games. You know, later in the month you got Final Fantasy 16. So the last thing I want is to have a ton of leftover playthroughs, right, that we're kind of continuing on with and not finishing, and now we're heading into June. It's like, now how am I going to juggle all that, right? So, especially Street Fighter 6, you know, Street Fighter 6 is the kind of game that's going to take a lot of coverage to really fully understand and cover. You got a single-player mode, World Tour, where you make your own character and you play through a story mode, you level them up, and you have their own abilities and custom loadouts. Then you've got the competitive mode, where we're going to try all these different characters in training mode, go online and try to play with them. There's a lot of content in the game. So that's going to be a lot of time already being consumed by Street Fighter 6. And now, imagine me trying to juggle two or three other games at the same time. It ain't going to work. You understand? So I got to do my best this month to try to get through everything that I'm doing. I basically have the rest of this month, so like 3 weeks, to get through as much of these games as possible and not have too much lingering. I think we'll be all right. For example, I think we'll finish Final Fantasy V by the end of the month for sure. And I guess dependent on how Oblivion goes, because I don't know how much content is actually in Shivering Isles, but I guess depending on how Oblivion goes, maybe we'll even wrap that up. I don't know, because I think we're almost at the end of the main storyline, right? Like, we've done all the meaningful side content, we did all the guilds, all we really have is the main story left in the game, and it's done. That's why we started Shivering Isles. But now we're like 6-8 hours in the Shivering Isles, and I'm wondering, maybe another few streams and we're maybe done with that, and then we go back to the story and we actually finish the game. So if I basically finish both chill streams, Final Fantasy V and Oblivion, by the end of this month, now potentially we could have daytime streams of like Street Fighter and maybe another game, and then night streams could be like, you know, Diablo and something else balanced. I don't know. We'll have to think about it. Okay? So, anyway, that's the idea for the month. All right? What we're doing now is we're alternating big events. So this month the big event is the Fight and Feast Street Fighter event, and then next month we'll probably do a long form React event of some sort. So we need to start talking. Is my right ear okay? I have a stupid hair on it or something here. It's bothering me. That's what I'm doing. People are like, what are you doing to your ear? Right here, I have like a hair on my ear. It's bothering me. I'll have to go take a look at it later. Anyway, pluck it? Yeah, I know. Go pluck my ear hairs. There you go. Like an old grandpa. So by the end of this month, what I'd like to do is talk about what should we do for the long-form React event in June, right? Should it be a documentary style? Should it be another YouTube channel like we did with Internet Historian? Maybe it should be a different YouTube channel that we look at and we react to. I don't know. I haven't really even thought about it yet because we got so much going on right now. But I think we should start to talk about this and figure this out, okay? Sound good? Okay, so what I'd like to do now is, first of all, I'd like to talk about yesterday and the tier maker that we did. And then I would like to talk about game news, and then we can do shout-outs and move on with the show. How does that sound? Okay? So last night, if you weren't aware, I did a special event, a tier maker ranking event over on my sister React channel, DSP Reacts. That's youtube.com/@DSP Reacts. And it was fun. First of all, it took all 2 hours of the late stream, okay? And I had a really good time with it. A lot of people showed up, more than I thought. We had roughly between 250 to 300 people on the stream, which is pretty good for a late night stream. And I had a good time with it. Essentially, we talked about all the Zelda games that I had played in my life, and there were some there that people had no idea that I actually had played because I haven't done playthroughs of all of them. There was some discussion of various different versions. For example, some games were regular versions, the original releases, and then there were like HD re-releases, and those were kind of broken out and listed separately, which was actually kind of interesting. Okay? So, we went through it, and here's the thing. First of all, the list that I used was very extensive. It had all of the handheld Zeldas on it, like Phantom Hourglass and Spirit Tracks and Oracle of Ages and Seasons and all these versions of Four Sword Adventures, all these ones I had never played that at one point were very popular, but let's be honest, they're not really the mainstream Zelda games that people talk about. When you talk about Zelda, you hear people talk about Ocarina of Time or Link to the Past or Twilight Princess, right? Or Wind Waker or Majora's Mask. Those are the ones you always hear. You never hear people talk about the handhelds, which is kind of weird. At one point, the handheld Zeldas were very, very popular. I just never played any of them. So, we went through the ranking, and I think there was, I want to say there was about 13 or 14 Zelda games that I had played that we ranked, and there was about 14 or so that I didn't rank because I never played them. But it's actually a good thing because it took 2 hours to properly rank all the Zelda games that I ranked. Can you imagine if I actually had played all of them? It would have taken like 4 or 5 hours to get through this ranking, right? Because there's so much to talk about when it comes to Zelda. And what I want to say is anyone that was there live, thank you, because you were a great interactive audience. People were giving tons of information. People were helping me to rank things and kind of judge them against each other. It was a really good and fun conversation. Like, I had a really great time. And it seemed like the audience as well had a really great time. You know, this is the 4th tier maker I've done. The first one was horror movie villains. The second one was game consoles. The third one was fast food franchises. And now we got Zelda games. So far, they've all been pretty good. Now, let's talk about performance and how it did so far, all right? Because now we're about 24 hours after I've done the event. And just to give you guys some perspective, because I know you guys love perspective, okay? I should close the stream here because I still had it open from yesterday on my laptop. So, like I said, during the stream, viewers-wise, it did pretty good. It had about 300 viewers, and that's pretty good for a late stream. Well, what about, you know, support-wise and stuff like that? Well, it had, had engagement. It had thumbs up and everything, and a ton of people were talking and commenting, so it seemed to be good engagement on the event. Support. I got a ton of super chats, and that was really nice. Like, it was a really good amount of super chats on the event, but that was literally it. Like, there was no members, there was no tips, nothing. It was just a bunch of people super chatted. So I'm very appreciative of that, and there's nothing wrong with that. At least the support came in, and it was good. People came and actually wanted to see this fun tier maker event, and they did support it, all right? So now this video is about 2 hours long. It's been live on DSP Reacts for roughly 12 hours, maybe. Yeah, it's about 12 hours now because it took a while to upload and process. As of now, it has 1,000 views. That's not bad. For DSP Reacts, that's pretty good. And that's only 12 hours. Undoubtedly, what will happen is over the next few days, a lot more people are going to watch it. I actually set it as the featured video on the channel, so more people will notice it. Maybe if you go to the channel, it's the first thing you see. And that is not bad whatsoever. I'm pleased with that early performance of 1,000 views in 12 hours, excuse me. 1,000 views in 12 hours, that's not bad. So, that's pretty good. And what it seems like is the content on DSP Reacts, a lot of it is doing, like, better on demand than it does even live. For example, the Internet Historian stream that I did about a week ago didn't even do as well support-wise as, like, if I had done 2 gameplay streams on DSPGaming. But the videos over the week got residual views. Each one has over 1,000 views. And yeah, it definitely helped and boosted the channel over there. Okay? So, there you go. And, very good stuff. And, I'm very pleased with how it did. Okay? So, yeah. I would hope if you didn't watch it, you'll check it out. Again, it was 2 hours of work, 2 hours of fun. And I certainly hope that you will continue to check out the special events that I do over there. I would also like some suggestions for future ones. You know, our next tier makers are set up. We're going to be doing fighting game related tier makers during my special Fight and Feast event. So that's cool. But after that, we're looking for more ideas. And people have already come up with some pretty good ideas. So people are like, why don't you rank the Resident Evils? It's a good idea. I would probably say if I'm going to rank the Resident Evils, though, I should likely replay certain ones because I actually don't remember some of them. Or someone said, how about you take your Game of the Year rankings that you've done every year since you've been a YouTuber and take like the top 2 games from each year and now rank them against each other in one big tier maker ranking, like the ultimate Game of the Year best games you've played since you've been a YouTuber kind of style ranking. And I was like, that's a great idea too. The catch there is that someone would have to set it up, or I would have to figure out how to do it on tier maker, because up to now, all the tier makers that I've done have been pre-made templates that someone else did. But that's a custom one that obviously would have to be made specifically for me because it's calling out my Game of the Year picks. But I don't know how it works. I've never really messed with tier maker. I don't know if you have to like import your own artwork or anything. I really don't understand it. I haven't looked into it to that level. If anyone wanted to work on that and make it, I would totally be cool with that. Like, I'd be like, wow, that's a great idea. but I don't know much about how to make a tier maker or anything. You know what I mean? So, all right. So, that being said, it's good fun. I had a good time last night. I hope you'll check it out. Like I said, 1,000 people already have, which is excellent. And more are checking it out on demand. I will say this, if you enjoy it, consider supporting it, because like I said, the stream did great with super chats, but everything else was kind of dead. So if you like that event and you want to do maybe a super thanks on the video, or look at the description of the video and leave a tip, that'd be great. That'd be a great way to help support that channel, okay? All right, cool. So now that that's done, now what I'd like to do is get into gaming news. All right. Gaming news. However, let's do a very, very quick plugs, meaning anyone here who is enjoying the content, if you could support it, I would greatly appreciate it, because this is my life. This is my bread and butter. This is what I do. I play games. I do fun streams, podcasting, reacting, and it is crowdfunding. That is how I make my living. I don't have product placements. I don't have advertisements set up during the stream or anything like that. I very rarely take ad breaks, maybe once a stream. No sponsorships, no partnerships. It's just me making content. And so, if you like the content, please consider supporting it. You can like today's live stream. If you're watching this on demand, you could like the video. That helps for engagement. You can comment in the chat, or you can comment on the video. That also helps for engagement and helps more people find the content. If you'd like to go above and beyond, there's many ways you can support the channel, including a super chat or a super sticker if you're here live on stream, or a super thanks if you're on demand watching after the fact. You could become a channel member, which gets you a whole bunch of cool perks on the channel. You could gift a membership to your fellow viewer. Right now, we did have a big decline in members because there was a big boost of them for my birthday event over a month ago, but now that, month has passed and a lot of those gifted memberships expired, so it'll be a great opportunity. Give some memberships, and I'm sure people would really appreciate that this month, particularly with Zelda coming up and the Street Fighter event coming up. They like the ability to use the emotes and have a cool chat crown and all of that, right? So that's a great way not only to support, the channel itself, but the community at large. The people, that you talk with every day in the chat would be very nice, okay? Very cool. Also, let's see here. Oh, of course, tipping. What am I talking about? Tipping is a great way to support the channel. And tips are important because tips are basically support I get right now. Literally, any tip I get could be put towards a game. It could be put towards a bill. It could be put towards my grocery shopping tomorrow that I'm going to do on my day off. It's really important, all right? So please consider tipping if you like the content. And because tips are so important, we actually have tiered rewards for tips. For every $50 raised on any particular stream, I'll do something special, whether it's put on Gunner glasses or allowing you to pick a hat from my big wardrobe of hats that we have over here in my closet to the left. If we ever happen to hit the top tiered tips reward for a stream, you also can vote on a vest for me to wear. But that very rarely happens these days. But anyway, thank you in advance to any support. I really appreciate it. And of course, if you support, I'm going to give you a shout out and get you on the leaderboard there. So we're going to get to that in a moment. There's a couple tips to shout out so far today and climbing. So thank you for that. Okay, now let us go ahead and get to some news. I already covered the Street Fighter 6 open beta, so you guys are aware of that. If you're interested in it, I hope you enjoy it. Bungie in court again. This time around, Bungie sued a company called Lavi Cheats. This was a company that was issuing cheats for Destiny 2 and allowing people to basically cheat in their game and get ahead without earning what they were doing. They sued the company. They've been suing them for about a year. They started this lawsuit about 2 years. The lawsuit started August 2021. Well, it finally came to a ruling. Guess what? They have won $6.7 million from this company, Lavi Cheats. Bungie said there were around 2,700 downloads for this cheat software that allowed people to illegally modify their game and get things they didn't earn. And they said they're trying to get this, $2,000 for each download. And apparently they've been granted it. They won the case. So, holy shit. That's pretty crazy. I think these cheat companies, after seeing this, are going to think twice. Because if there's no repercussions, that's when this kind of stuff, runs rampant. But now we're starting to see these companies crack down on this. And it'd be one thing if this was a single-player game. Single-player games, who cares, right? You cheat in a single-player game, all you're really doing is cheating yourself, right? You're cheating yourself of the real gameplay experience. But when you've got a game that's an always online game, that is an online enabled community game with, you know, it's MMO kind of stuff, and there's a whole economy based around it, let's be honest, right? There's all kinds of stuff based around the economy of Destiny and Destiny 2. You know, cheating disrupts that economy, and it disrupts the business model of the game and everything, and that's not good for anyone involved. So, yeah, there should be legal repercussions for people that are getting these hacks in and hacking and cheating a game and getting things you shouldn't have in the game. And this is the first real, like, major blow to one of these cheats companies. And I get the feeling that this is going to open the floodgates. This is going to be the first of many that you're now going to see these game companies go after these hacking cheat companies and try to get restitution for basically breaking their games, right? And going around the rules. So, interesting. And I guess we're going to see what happens moving forward if more companies will go after, or maybe Bungie will just go after everyone, another cheat company and another one and another one, try to shut them all down. But, yeah, now it's funny because someone just said in the chat, oh, good, so now Bungie will take that money and give it right to their executives rather than reinvesting it the right way. I mean, you very well may be correct. So, hope for the best, but I guess, you know, it's an interesting thing to see. It took about 2 years to go through the courts and finally get a ruling on it. What's going on, Wistar? How you doing? Jade, how you doing? Jade sadly says he's got bad allergies today. I'm sorry to hear that. Lavinia says, oh, it's good to cheat Destiny because Bungie will microtransaction the fuck out of you. They sell weapons in the shop. Yeah, but you don't have to buy them. You understand that, right? Like, yes, you're absolutely right. These MMO-style games all have microtransactions out the ass, but then you don't have to buy them. It's your choice to do so. If you like the game and you choose to invest money and time in it, then that's your prerogative. No one is forcing you to do that. You know? Now, if you were going to argue with me and say, oh, there's a crazy amount of deceptive loot boxes and things like that, that would be different. Then I'd be like, man, I don't like that loot box thing. Those loot boxes are bullshit. But, yeah, I don't really know. I don't know what you're getting at there. Okay. Our next news story. Apparently, Nintendo has let wind that they are developing a new console. Now, is it a brand new console, or is it a better version of the Switch? No one is sure. But they were interviewing. Darn, I forgot to write down the guy's name. It's my fault. They were interviewing one of the kind of executives at Nintendo, all right? And they were talking to him about the performance of the Switch. And essentially what he said was, basically for the last couple of years, the Switch sales have basically slowed down dramatically. Every year, Switch sales are slowing down by about 20%. Okay? Well, what a surprise. The Switch is from 2017. It's 6 years later. People aren't exactly chomping at the bit to buy the Switch. And in addition, most people who want one have one already. It's called market saturation, right? So there's not that many households left who are interested in gaming that probably haven't had a Switch. So because of that, you're not going to sell as many, right? I mean, it's logic, right? So what they're saying is, due to the slowdown, they are predicting that kind of like financial results are going to taper off and slow down as well for everything. Everything Switch related will get slower. However, one of the statements that he said was that console development seems to be progressing well, but a product launch would not happen before spring of next year at the earliest. And it's weird because no one had mentioned a new Nintendo console or anything, and this statement just kind of came out of nowhere. So it almost feels like a leak. Like this guy inadvertently kind of said this, not really realizing what he was insinuating in the interview. But what he's insinuating is Nintendo is working on their next console, and the earliest it's going to come out is next spring, but likely not. Likely maybe later this year, or maybe even the year after, but maybe sometime next year. That'll be interesting. Another question is, once again, what's it going to be? Is it going to be another situation where it's an underpowered console and everyone's disappointed with it because all they want is Nintendo to have a real foot into the competitive game? Or is it, you know what I mean? Is it going to be another gimmicky console with something that that I'm not sure anyone really wants? I don't know. I would hope for the best. I mean, my personal take, I want them to make a console that's powerful. I want them to make a console that could run great graphics, that can handle what they want to do with their first-party games without sacrifice. They shouldn't be releasing games that run like shit that are like first-party titles. You know what I'm saying? And sometimes this has happened. And that's sad. Yeah, get a Switch game that's totally running poorly, underperforming. That's sad. We shouldn't have that, especially because this is the big console for Nintendo, you know. But it seems like the last 3 console gens, the Wii, the Wii U, and now the Switch, this has been the case. I mean, take a look at friggin' Pokemon, man. Holy shit. Ridiculous, that last Pokemon game. So, I hope for the best, but again, you can't really depend on anything that it's going to be good or not. I guess we're just going to have to see. We have 0 information about it, but now we know they're working on it. Okay? All right. Okay, next news story. All right, so this is all about Diablo 4. Now, this might sound confusing, but allow me to read this for you word for word. This is from Rod Ferguson. I believe he's an employee at Activision Blizzard. Here's what he has to say. Diablo 4 Early Access, Deluxe, and Ultimate Editions start on June 1st at 4 p.m. Pacific Time. Main launch will be June 5th at 4 p.m. Pacific Time. We use June 2nd and June 6th for marketing because that's when they're available everywhere globally. Huh? Allow me to translate. As always with these games, because Diablo 4 is a hyped game, they've decided to sell early access. So if you want to play the game early, you have to buy the high-end editions, as he just said, the Deluxe and Ultimate Editions, okay? And you might say, well, what's in those? I don't know. It's probably DLC content. It's probably got some items at launch that give you an upper hand in the game or something like that. Will it really be worth the extra money? I mean, are you really that desperate to play the game like 4 days early? I mean, if you really are, go for it, you know? But I don't know what true value will come out of, hey, Jasper, what are you doing? Trying to get my attention. I don't know what true value will come out of paying the extra money just to play the game a few days early. I don't know. FOMO is a real problem. What does that mean? FOMO? What does that stand for? FOMO? I don't know what that stands for. But anyway, oh, fear of missing out. Oh, I had never even heard that one before. The fear of missing out. So if you don't pay extra to play Diablo 4 on June 1st, you're missing out, and everyone else is going to get it and play it before you, and you're going to be the poor schmuck sitting around with nothing to do, with your thumb up your ass, watching everyone else on the internet play Diablo 4. You big loser. Why didn't you get the Deluxe or Ultimate Editions and play it on June 1st like everybody else? Right? Okay, that makes sense. I get it. It's stupid. It's a really bad mentality to have, but, you know, that's what a lot of people buy into. They buy into the hype. So if you buy the special versions that have extra cost associated with them, you can play the game starting June 1st. If you hold off, you can play the game starting June 5th. But for marketing purposes, they're not saying that. They're saying June 2nd and June 6th because it's 4 p.m. Pacific time launch time on those days, which is weird when you think about it. Can you name another video game that you couldn't play till 4 p.m. on any given day? I can't. Usually it's midnight. Usually it's a midnight release. For some reason, they're doing 4 p.m. That's really odd. So anyway, that's why they're saying the 2nd and the 6th, because for a lot of people, you'll already be into the next day. You see? So, there you go. Now, One Button Dash says to play on June 2nd, all you need to do is pre-order. You don't have to buy the special editions. That's literally not what Rod Ferguson has just said. So it sounds like you are incorrect. Okay? One Button Dash said that. According to Rod Ferguson, an actual employee of Activision Blizzard, he's saying only Deluxe and Ultimate Edition people can play June 1st at 4 p.m. Pacific time. Everyone else has to wait until June 5th, 4 p.m. He literally just said that this morning in a tweet. Okay? Or last night in a tweet. All right? So, you might be wondering, Phil, will you be playing Diablo 4? It's a strong maybe. Like, I'm very interested in it. Diablo 3 did not go well. When I bought Diablo 3 and played it, people hated it. They actually didn't like the playthrough whatsoever. They thought it was boring. They yelled at me for playing the full game. They actually wanted me to quit it. But I stuck with it, and I did beat it. Since then, I literally never did another piece of Diablo since then. Okay? So, am I interested in it? Well, if you guys want it, all right? And I guess you guys tell me if you want it or not. And if you're interested in it for variety purposes, I would consider it. The way I see it is, Diablo could be a good late-night chill stream where we do it in 2-hour segments, you know, and that way it's a lot of interaction while I'm grinding through the combat or whatever. It doesn't have to be, you know, like a hyper focus on the story. I think that's why my playthrough failed, because back then I wasn't streaming. It was just me talking to the game essentially and doing commentary on it. And I don't think that Diablo is the kind of game that really works. But if we're having a fun interactive stream and the grinding becomes more of an opportunity for us to chill with each other and have conversation, I think it could work. So I guess we'll see how it goes and go from there. But I am definitely interested in it, you know, based on your feedback. Okay, so let me know what you think. All right, so that's Diablo coming out first week of June. Starfield, we have some updates because there has been a leak. Starfield's ESRB rating, which is the Entertainment Something Ratings Board. I forget what it stands for, but this is the group that rates games, you know, based on the content in them. They inadvertently leaked the rating for Starfield on their own Twitter page ahead of the official ESRB listing. Oops. The game is reported to be rated mature, meaning you must be 17 years old to buy and play the game. It will contain scenes of violence and blood. I mean, no shit, there's combat. Suggestive themes. Ooh. Better watch what you suggest. Strong language. And use of drugs. I mean, it's pretty much everything that's been in Fallout before. That doesn't sound too crazy to me. What's funny, though, is that I saw people report this as sex. And I guess what it is I guess they detail their ratings or whatever. And in the detailed rating, I think it actually mentioned that there might be sexual content in the game. Which, again, if it's... Okay. There's ways to do it tastefully, and there's ways to do it untastefully, right? Like, if there's actually romance in the game between two characters and it's part of the plot, if there's a meaningful relationship that the main character that you control can have with others, but if it becomes like fucking GTA where you're just banging everyone for no reason or to get your health back, or if it's like Cyberpunk where everything around in the world is a virtual dick or boob, I mean, yeah, it's going to be really stupid. So I hope that's not what they're going for. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't mind having sexual content in the game. I just want it to be done tastefully and meaningfully, not like an insane shove it down your throat kind of a deal. That's not what I'm hoping this Starfield is going to be. I certainly didn't get that impression from what we saw up to this point. Now, keep in mind that June 11th is the big Xbox event. This is the event where there's going to be the first half covering all new Xbox content and games releasing soon. And then there's going to be the second half, which is the actual Starfield showcase that's going to only talk about Starfield and highlight Starfield, okay? What I'm hoping is during that event, we are going to get all of our answers. Like, we really need to get all of our answers about what this game is going to be. If they don't start answering questions, people are going to lose faith in the game. I mean, let's be honest, Redfall, I think, just killed a lot of good faith in Xbox Studios. Because Redfall was released as a piece of junk, right? And, you know, you got to hope for the best that it is going to be good. You know, Bethesda hasn't pumped out a new game in quite some time. And the ones that they pumped out recently, Fallout 76, I say recent, even though that was many years ago, were very bad. So you got to hope that they're going to come out with something good. I really hope so. So I guess we'll find out, right? But yeah, more on that coming soon, okay? All right, so ladies and gentlemen, that is the gaming news for today. That was a good amount to cover, was it not? Sweet. Okay, so let's go ahead and let us do some shout-outs. As of now, we have nothing on the YouTube side of stuff, but we have a few tips to take a look at. Of course, I haven't looked at them yet. Let's see if they're legit tips or not. Let's take a look at the first one here. I received a $1 tip from Casanova, who says, have you watched the Chrono Odyssey gameplay? If not, I could send it your way to react to. I would say send it my way to react to, although admittedly, if you're just nominating today, it's probably too late. Like, seriously, so many people post up stuff for the React show that likely it won't even get into this week's show. But I would say go for it anyway, and if it doesn't make it this week, resubmit it next week, but try to do it more quickly. Remember, I post up Sunday nights for that over on DSP React. But no, I've seen nothing about it. I think yesterday people were saying it's an MMO. So I don't know anything about the game. No, never heard of it until someone mentioned it on my stream, and I haven't had a chance to really, research it further. So thank you, Casanova, for the first tip of the day. Okay. So, I received a $1.06 tip from an anonymous tipper. They would like to talk about Guardians of the Galaxy 3. Let's do that. Let's get the anonymous tipper up there. There we go. Shrubrat says, I have subbed to your Reacts channel. Couldn't talk last night. I was on the stream, but I think you should try the Zeldas you never played. It would be enjoyable. Thank you. Yeah, just like this channel, both my channels are sub-only to talk in the chat. Only because if we don't do that, we get a ton of bots that come in that really flood the chat and ruin it with all kinds of messed up stuff. So it is a necessary evil. Sorry you couldn't talk last night, but I'm glad that you enjoyed the show, and thanks for the suggestion. I would like to play more Zelda games one day. Like, I actually would like to go and play a lot of those handheld ones I missed. The problem is they never really ported them to consoles. So unless you're going to get a legacy handheld and find some way to capture from it, it's not really viable, right? Anyway, getting back on subject, this anonymous tipper tipped me $1.06 and says the following. I just got back from Guardians of the Galaxy 3. So damn good and fun. I can definitively say DC is in safe hands with James Gunn moving forward. What's funny is it not? I keep seeing on social media, it's the origin story of Rocket Raccoon, which we already experienced because there was a Guardians of the Galaxy Telltale game many years ago, and that was the origin story of Rocket Raccoon, which is very sad. It's a very depressing story, right? So isn't it not that story, only told in movie form rather than game form? So that's kind of neat, and I can totally understand why people said it tugged at their heartstrings. Yeah, I've heard that the game is quite good. I've actually heard that did I say the game? I've heard the movie is quite good. People are actually saying it's the best of the 3 Guardians movies. Personally, I didn't really like the second Guardians movie. I thought the first one was really good, and the second one was kind of, not very good. So, we'll see. I don't know if I'll get to see it anytime soon. All right, so I just got another $1.06 tip. What appears to be from the same person, by the way. And they're saying the following. Let's see what they have to say. Thank you for another tip. I appreciate that. You said to tell you what subscription services you should join. It's obviously Disney Plus. You never reviewed any of the latest movies, like the Avengers or any Marvel movies. Anything Marvel usually brings in high views. A huge catalog. Just a suggestion. Here's the thing. I don't necessarily know if even reviewing the older stuff, if it works. You know what I mean? Like, for example, people had wanted to see me watch and review a bunch of DC stuff for a long time. And really the only DC movie that I reviewed that really got traction was Joker, the Joaquin Phoenix movie. Outside of that, everything else I've reviewed doesn't even get 1,000 views over on DSP React. Seems like people don't really care about the reviews that much. It seems like if you review something in a very timely manner, like for example, when I was reviewing the weekly episodes of The Last of Us show, that did pretty good. There's a new movie that just came out a day or a day and a half ago on HBO Max. It's called League of Superheroes. And if you're not aware, this was an actual comic book line in DC that deals with a future Earth where the superheroes actually have their own like training academy, and it has like future versions of certain characters and stuff. And they made an animated movie of it that just released on HBO Max, and I watched it and I loved it. So I think tonight I'm actually going to do a review of that for DSP Reacts, and I wasn't originally planning to do that, but being that it's something that just came out of nowhere, it's brand spanking new, and people might be interested to know if it's good or not, I think I'm going to review that tonight. So that should be fun, but the thing is, I really think I need to be on top of new stuff. Like when new things are coming out, new shows, new movies, then being on top of it makes sense. I don't think, for example, if I were to get Disney Plus today and review Revengers Endgame, I don't think anyone's going to care. I'm just being honest. Like, it's way too late for that, right? Maybe you're wrong, though. I don't know. So I guess give me your feedback on that. I'd love to hear it. But I'm definitely doing a new review tonight of the League of Superheroes, okay? Over on DSP Reacts. Check that out later tonight, okay? Okay. Yeah, Drewski literally just said in the chat, I think you should review more selectively. When new things do come out on streaming services, that's when you should review ASAP and capitalize on it. There you go. Joey1800 says, well, you think you'll do a Final Fantasy tier list eventually? I'd love to hear your opinions on each one. Eventually, I could see that happening. Yes, I could see myself doing, like, rating the mainstream Zelda games, the mainstream Final Fantasy games. I could definitely see that happening. Again, much like with the Resident Evil idea that people had, I feel like I should maybe refresh my memory on some of them And I didn't play all of them. If you're not aware, I did not ever play Final Fantasy 12 at any length. I played Final Fantasy 12, and I kind of didn't like the story. So I kind of just focused on the gameplay, and I never really got too far in it. But I've played 1 and 2, which I should replay in the Pixel Remaster Collection. I never finished 3, so I'd have to play through 3 again. 4, 5, and 6, I'm well-versed in. 7, we just played. 8, I've never beaten, I hated. But maybe I should go back and try to replay it. 9, we recently played. 10, I've already played. 11, I played. It was an MMO, and I played 11, so I could rank that one. 12 is another one I didn't really play. 13, obviously, and its sequels, I played for YouTube. 14 is an MMO I never played, and 15 I did for YouTube. So I've played a lot of them, but not all of them, right? I also played games like Mystic Quest, and I've also played the Tactics series, Tactics and Tactics Advance. So I have played some Final Fantasy spin-off games as well that I could possibly rank alongside the other Final Fantasies. So, there you go. Yeah, I think Resident Evil tier list would be great. But I need to replay 0, and I need to replay Code Veronica X to properly rank those games. Because 1, 2, 3, the remakes of 1, 2, 3, 4 and its remake, 5 and 6, and 7 and 8, like all those games I know very well. Alright? I would say probably the one that I might want to replay one time would be 6, because I haven't really played it in a very long time, ever since it came out. It was 10 years ago or whatever. So I probably want to replay 6, but outside of that, all those other games I'm well versed in, I've played recently, or I remember very adamantly. But 0 and Code Veronica X, I only played once ever, and I don't really remember them. So I feel like I should replay those before I would do it, but after that, then I could rank them. Revelations 1 and 2, I think I remember enough of those that I could rank those as well. Sure. Right. Mario game tier list. Yeah, we never done any of these. I mean, this tier list, tier maker stuff is brand new to me. And that's what I mean. Like, I don't want to oversaturate. I want to maybe do it 1 to 2 times a month tops. That way, we have tons of content that we can make over the years of tier maker, right? So the next one is the May 21st Street Fighter and fighting game stuff. And then next month for June, let's think of some topics. We could literally do any of these. The thing is that I definitely feel like some games I would want to replay before I rank them. Like I said, I want to play Resident Evil 0 and Code Veronica X before I try ranking them for any kind of a tier maker, because I don't really remember them that well. Okay. Okay, let's see here. Pickleman is here. He says, do I have a question for him today? Let's think about this. A question for Pickleman today. How about, let's see here. How about, I'm trying to think of something that's pertinent to what we talked about today. Man, I have a bunch of topics in my head, but I can't solidify a good question about any of them. Alright, what is your favorite game from Bethesda? What is your favorite game from Bethesda Studios, since we were talking about Starfield? Okay, but in the meantime, guys, we have some extra time, alright? So, if you would wish to ask me a question, get some discussion going, please tag me in the chat. We got about 20-25 minutes to just chat and kill some time before we jump into Jedi Survivor today. So by all means, tag me and let's get some discussion going. Giant Enemy Crab says, if Starfield fails, do you think Bethesda will go back to being a third-party studio? No. I don't think these studios that got bought out are going to go back to being third-party or anything like that. They're owned now. Would I consider playing Lego 2K Drive, says Eddie Cabrera? I'm going to be honest, I don't think so. This month already, it looks like I'm getting backed up with Jedi Survivor, which we had to put on hold for a bit. And Zelda comes out on Friday, and we're still doing Elden Ring. We got those 3 to focus on for the rest of the month, which is only 3 more weeks. And then we got tons of other games coming out, too, that are maybes. I think that of all the games, I think that the Lego driving game is probably the last one on my mind. If I was to play another game, it would probably be the new Amnesia, or it would probably be the Gollum Lord of the Rings game or something. So I'm going to probably say, sadly, due to time constraints and what's going on this month already, with the game schedule, I'm probably not playing the Lego driving game, okay? Can I get a silly Zelda hat with elf ears for Tears of the Kingdom? It's this simple, no. I feel like we have enough hats. Like, no exaggeration. Just listen to this. Here's how many hats we have. Ready? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. We have 16 hats already, okay? And then vests. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay? We have 16 hats, and we have 10 vests in the rotation. Now, how often do you see a hat? Once every few streams? How often do you see a vest? At most once a week? I don't think we need to be adding new hats and vests. I'm just saying. Like, at this point, we have so many, you know, that it's a ridiculous closet full. Like, I have my whole top shelf of my closet is just hats. I'm serious. So, taking a look at that, no, I really don't realistically think we should be adding more hats to the rotation at this point. I think we have more than enough. You know, if it was an example where every day I was wearing a hat and they were getting stale, that'd be different. But actually, it's the case where we rarely even wear a hat. You know, we don't really hit the $100 tip skull that often anymore. So, I don't think that we're going to be adding new ones. It'd be kind of silly, no? Okay. All right, I need to jump in. Wow, a million people are tagging me. Let's see what people have to say. Have I played Super Mario World SNES on YouTube? Yes. I played it many years ago as a co-op playthrough with a friend. And I don't remember. I think I did go back and played it again as a solo playthrough at one point. I'm almost positive I did, right? What's going on, Jasper? What's going on, buddy? Well, I'm looking right now. I'm trying to get an answer to your question. Looks like we last played Yoshi's Island, which is Super Mario World 2 in 2020. Okay. Here it is. Yup. I played Super Mario World on the Switch in 2019 when Switch did their online service and they launched all those SNES games. Yes, I did a full playthrough of Super Mario World in 2019. So there's your answer. So I did a solo playthrough in 2019 and I'd done a co-op playthrough previous to that many years before. By the way, is the frame rate of the camera dipping right now? Are you guys noticing the frame rate of the camera is dipping right now, or is it just my setup looking like that? Are you noticing any difference in the camera? Does it look choppy to you guys, or does it look all right? It looks fine? Okay, as long as it looks fine to you. Sometimes what happens is my setup, because this is the preview looks different than what you guys are seeing, and it looks like it's a little choppy right now, but that's okay as long as it's smooth for you guys. I don't really care then. Okay. It's the Jasper kitty. He sucks up all the frames of animation. Right, Jasper kitty? Jasper? Right, Jasper? Jasper kitty? You say something? Talk to the audience. Say something to the audience. They're over here. Say something to the audience. Speak to them. Jasper. Meow, meow, meow. Meow, meow, meow. He says nothing. He clams up. He talks to me all day. I swear to God he talks to me all day. He said meow, meow, meow through the house. All day he likes to talk. And now when he's on camera, he refuses to talk. He's only done it once ever. Why are you so camera shy? Well, you're not technically camera shy. You're on camera all the time. But why won't you talk on camera? What is it? Speak up. He won't speak. He never speaks. It's so weird. How old is Jasper? We don't know because he's a rescue cat. All right? When we rescued him, we were told he could have been between 3 and 4 years old. All right? And so if you do the math, you know, he could be like 7 or 8. He could be 9. Because it depends on how correct they were. We don't know. We have no idea, you know, if they were right or not. And that kind of sucks. It really does suck not knowing how old he is. But what can you do? He's a healthy kitty. He's a good kitty. He's a healthy kitty. So I'm not too worried about it. Maybe Jasper is an introvert. That is literally the opposite of this cat right here. Introvert is the least accurate word to describe Jasper Kitty. He is the biggest extrovert possible. He is constantly up in everything. Seriously. Skyrim is your favorite Bethesda game, Pickle Man? Okay. He says he feels like it revolutionized open world games and it holds up. There you go. Yeah, right. Mr. Whisker says, Jasper's so lucky. Imagine being able to hear Phil's voice all day and be his roommate. I'm pretty sure that's not lucky. There's no luck there. Oh, did he? John says Jasper debuted when you were doing a Super Mario Bros. 64 playthrough. I don't remember that, but I'll believe you. Jade says, I don't know if I'm going to watch Star Wars. It's only okay. All right, it's all good, Jade. If you if you want to just talk or you just want to hang out and come in from time to time and say something, that's fine. If you're not too interested in the game, I hear you. Oh, excuse me. I received a tip. Let's take a look at it. This is absolutely ridiculous. Why didn't I go to London to make content around all the big fights happening this weekend? Because I don't care. It has nothing to do with me. I don't even support the fights. I think they're stupid. So why would I be covering them? All right, you ready? Why is Darkside Phil not in London covering a bunch of fights this week? Because I'm not a fucking moron. That's why. That's literally the best answer I can give you. Because I'm not stupid. Okay? There you go. Yes, we beat the two Frogos. We did. Last stream. And now we're fully into the story of the game, and that's what we're doing today. We're making progress in the Jedi Survivor story. Who's my favorite Star Wars character? Oh, man. I don't know. That's tough. Yeah, I would say, like, who's my favorite Jedi? I don't know. Maybe Obi-Wan. From, the younger years Obi-Wan, maybe. I don't know. Who's my favorite villain? I mean, it's hard to say. Probably Vader, of course. But, there's been a lot of good villains as well. Who's the most charismatic? Definitely Han Solo. Always was the most charismatic, fun character, right? So, there you go. No, I don't even know what Star Wars Visions is, so I have not seen it. Oh, okay. Casanova says he's an Ultra member on the channel, so when he submits it, I'll get to watch it. Good. Quick reminder, Casanova. If you're going to submit that for me to watch on the React channel, please do it within 24 hours of the show on Saturday. Because some Ultra members have this bad habit. They don't submit their thing until way late. Some of them are like 2 hours before the show. And I'm supposed to know that it's there and go approve it and get it on the show quick. And sometimes, it's rough to get everything in there at times. So please, if you could do it at least 24 hours before the show. But yeah, if you're an Ultra member, that's awesome. We'll definitely watch it then. Sounds good to me. Star Wars Visions is an anime. I didn't even know they had Star Wars anime. That's kind of cool. Hector says, does free will exist? Are you truly free? It's an interesting question. Because if you truly had free will, right, you would be able to do whatever you wanted, correct? But can you really do whatever you want? No. Well, I guess you could, but then you're gonna suffer repercussions for it. So I guess really the question is you have to define free will. You can literally do whatever you want, but if you do it, then you're going to suffer repercussions if it's against societal norms or laws, correct? Right? Like anyone could say, I could go purchase a chainsaw, walk through the streets spinning around with the chainsaw live, but then if you hit someone with the chainsaw, you're going to jail and/or a mental institution, right? I mean, you had the free will to do it, but then if, someone gets hurt, you're going to suffer the consequences. So those kind of questions cannot just easily be answered because everyone has a different categorization for the term. What truly is free will? If you obey someone nonstop, if you literally don't break free from what you're told to do, and you just do what you're told for your entire life, you just obey, obey, obey. One person might say, well, you see, that person never had any free will. Another person might say, actually, they chose to obey. It was their will to obey, and therefore they were just following their own free will, and they just happened to choose to obey. So there you go. It's a very philosophical question. Maybe someday we'll answer these at a higher level, right? There you go. No, I didn't hear about any heist in Tokyo. $1 million of merchandise stolen during the Golden Week holidays. I don't know anything about that, no. I've seen the entire show of Breaking Bad. I've seen the first 2 to 3 seasons of Better Call Saul, and I love both shows. There you go. Hector did another super chat. He says, consider every decision you made and the underlying reasons. The reasons are the reasons you don't choose or control, making them determined and not free. There you go. So no matter what, you can never have free will. Perfect. Sounds good to me. Habib Gaming, how's it going today? It's good to see you here. Welcome. Go watch the ending to Better Call Saul. It's really nice. Did it end? I didn't even know that the show had ended. I had no clue that it ended. Why not finish Better Call Saul? Because I don't have television programs anymore. Like, I used to have TV, and I would record the episodes and watch them later, but I don't have it anymore. So I have no access to the show. I don't even know what it's on. Like, I don't even know what service it would be on. It ended. The last 2 seasons are amazing. Go finish it up. Willow, I've never been to a dog pound. No, I have not. I've been to shelters where dogs have been, stored, sadly, some abused pets and people looking for new homes for them. I've been to those, but I've never actually been to a dog pound. No. Okay. Apparently we have someone, DJ Mike Fury. Is that what this says? DJ Mike Fury says he's actually from the G2 community at Side Scrollers. Welcome. Welcome one, welcome all. I welcome everyone to my content, and I appreciate people who show up and give me a fair shake, despite what you may have heard in a million different places. And I hope you enjoy your time here. And if you don't, well, you're still welcome to come back whenever you want. Here we go again. We don't have free will. Every time a guy learns we don't have free will, he can't shut up about it for 3 months. Yes. One day we will have big philosophical discussions about this stuff. I feel like I'm still too young for it. I'm 41 years old. Maybe when I'm 50, we'll start doing big philosophical discussion streams about this stuff. And we'll all blow each other's mind. But we can only do it while drinking. I'll have to start drinking on late night streams and do these philosophical discussions. Street Fighter 6 indeed is coming. It is on the way. The Villain says, what was your first fighting game tournament? How did you feel about it? My first fighting game tournament ever? I don't remember. There were a lot of tournaments held in Connecticut for games such as Marvel vs. Capcom 1 and 2. And I think probably Marvel vs. Capcom 1 must have been one of the first tournaments I ever attended. And I'm going to guess it was at FYE, For Your Entertainment, at their arcade in Trumbull, Connecticut. But they don't even exist anymore. Like, that arcade doesn't even exist. But I'm going to say that was probably it. And it was probably in the late 90s. And how did I feel about it? I felt excited because back then, everyone was competitive with each other. We'd all go to arcades and take each other on in the game and try to get win streaks and stuff. But we never really had a competitive avenue to prove who was better in a competitive setting. You see? I should finish Final Fantasy 12 one day. Then I should just replay Final Fantasy 12, obviously, from the start and start and play it. I told you guys I would. Because I never really... What I'm finding is these games from my youth that I didn't really enjoy, if I replay them now with an interactive audience like you guys, a lot of the times I end up enjoying and understanding and appreciating them a lot better than I did in my youth. Because now we have time to sit down and focus on them and actually, talk about the themes and things going on. And a lot of the times if there's gameplay that I'm stuck on or confused about, you guys help me through it. And then I enjoy it better. That's exactly what happened last year with Final Fantasy VII, where that's a game that I had always kind of crapped on. And then once I played it with you guys, I liked it more. I still think the story's convoluted and not great. But at the same time, I enjoyed the overall game a lot more. So. Start a new show called DSP Velociraptor, says BattleDuck. That's very disturbing. Giant Enemy Crab says, actually, Final Fantasy XII is one of my favorites. I'm not even a JRPG guy. There you go. Play FIFA? I played FIFA once, did I not? Did I not get it one year and play it? I swear I did. And I think it was a huge flop. Like, I sucked at it and no one really cared. That's why I never played it ever again. Elden Ring's going good to be gaming. This run is very much entertaining and different from the first. Like, tons of enemies that I steamrolled in the first playthrough, they kick my ass in this one, and vice versa. This time around, I'm not wasting a lot of time with the open world exploration and the really crappy optional dungeon stuff. Instead, we're just doing kind of the more meaningful content of the game, which is good. So I actually feel I feel like it's a more fun run than the first one, but at the same time, that first one, even though there's a lot of frustration and confusion and a lot of wasted time, at the same time, the first one is always going to be the best run because it's kind of like that discovery feeling. You never know what's around that next corner, what's that next boss you're going to face. Now I kind of know all of that. So I'm really enjoying the run, though. I really am. I can't wait for more on Thursday. No, I never played hockey before. I can't skate. Stormforce Gamer, I'm aware. I have downloaded the 20-some gigabyte patch and installed it with Jedi Survivor. I have no idea what the patch did, but it's in there. I don't know if it's going to make the game run any better or not. Yes, I'm playing Final Fantasy 16. Yes, I am. No, I can't ice skate. I've never ice skated once in my life. I've never roller skated either. Never done anything like that. Battlex says your Madden and MLB playthroughs are way better than FIFA. Hockey would be interesting for the change of it. Yes, there was a big patch today for Jedi Survivor. As I booted my console up, it started downloading. A very large one. Alright, we got a few more minutes here. If anyone has anything to talk about, and last chance if you want to get a shout out for a contribution before we begin with gameplay. What's tonight's agenda? Late stream tonight is Oblivion. Shivering Isles. You know, I don't think so. Well said asks, do we think you've played enough Pokemon games to consider a tier list? Probably not. Like, if you think of the Pokemon games I played over the years, what did I play? Ruby. Well, the remake version of Ruby. I played... Did I play XY? I think I did. I played Moon. I played Sword. I played Scarlet. Right? I don't really play that many. And, of course, I played Blue back in the day. I missed out on, like, so many Pokemon games that I don't even think that I'd be able to fairly rank them. Casanova, I told this story before. He said, I bought a new bicycle, can't wait for it. When was the last time you rode a bike? When I was growing up, my parents bought me a bike. Okay? My dad was teaching me to ride it. We went out maybe 2-3 times, and I was just starting to get the hang of it. Just starting to get the hang of it. Okay? And then my next door neighbor, who was around the same age as me, went out on his bike one day, and he was riding his bike, and he got his ass jumped, beaten up to a bloody pulp, and had his bike stolen. And when that happened, I said, I don't want to fucking ride a bike in this neighborhood. And I kept telling my dad, like, nah, this neighborhood's not safe. I'm not going to fucking ride a bike. Like, I'm not stupid. I'll stay in the yard and play with my friends or go to their yards, but I'm not going to fucking ride around. And because of that, I never actually learned to ride my bike. And eventually, my dad sold it. He sold it off because it was a good bike. And they bought me this bike, and it just went to waste. And then, funny enough, okay, this one time, so this had already happened. Okay, so already I wasn't going to ride a bike. It wasn't a big deal. I didn't care about it. We went to this charity basketball game where I think it was like the fire department against the cops. Okay, and at this charity basketball game, they were doing a raffle. So my dad entered the raffle. And, you know, there's tons of prizes you can win. They do the raffle. We win the grand prize. Take a wild guess what the grand prize was. A bike. Not only a bike, it was a 1990s high-end, all the bells and whistles, crazy neon orange stripe paint bike. Like, this is one of the ones you would go to, like, Toys R Us or a kid's store, and it would be the most expensive bike they fucking have in the store, and every kid wants it, but no one gets it. That's the fucking bike that I won, right? So here I am, and now I know I'm not riding this bike. Like, dude, if my neighbor riding a normal bike got their ass jumped and got their bike stolen, can you imagine if my ass jumped on this fucking neon tiger stripe bike riding through my neighborhood? I probably wouldn't get 2 blocks of concrete before 10 people punch me in the face and take the bike. So, basically, you know, I won the bike, and I had to go up with my dad and pose in front of everyone as they applauded that I won the bike. And literally the bike came home, and my dad's like, well, I guess we got to figure out how to get rid of this. And we sold that one, too. Yeah. No, I've never ridden on a motorcycle before. No, I have not. This is funny you say, did I sell the bike? How could I sell it? I was a kid. My dad sold those and kept the money. I didn't sell anything. Who am I going to sell it to? Oh my God. Anyway. It is depressing. I agree. Let me tell you something. That day when I saw my neighbor and his face was all fucked up because he got beat up and his bike stolen, I was like, dude, this is fucked up, man. That's where I grew up. A lot of people think I grew up in this, like, great neighborhood. That, oh, Phil was a rich white kid. I was never rich, and I was never in some kind of a ritzy neighborhood. I very much lived in, you know, middle to lower class living in Connecticut. Because everyone hears Connecticut, think everyone's rich. That's very untrue. It is very true that there's big concentrated pockets of very rich people in Connecticut that live in fucking mansions and gated communities. That is not where I live. It's hilarious that people have this weird misconception. Some people have actually said something as stupid as, Phil has rich parents, and he can't wait because he's going to get inheritance someday. I am not getting any inheritance from my parents. They don't have any money. That's not happening. You guys are out of your minds who make this nonsense up. Anyway, last chance. Anyone want to talk about anything? Or should we wrap up the show? Thank you to those who are here. Thank you to those who have liked the stream so far. We got 61 likes and climbing. Always appreciate that. Thanks for the few super chats here, Hector. And thanks for the people who did a couple tips. I appreciate all of that. People are saying, wrap it up, yo. Wrap it up. Wrap it up. It's a skit from the Chappelle Show. All right. Cool. Well, thank you all for watching. I hope that you enjoyed the show. Good variety of stuff today, including game news, which is always appreciated when we actually have news to talk about rather than baloney. And I hope that you guys enjoyed. And I hope that you guys have enjoyed. I hope that you guys will... Oh, this is hilarious. I get so many bullshit spoof emails. It's ridiculous, man. I'm serious. Like, I get so many of these. Wow, look at this. Every day I get so many spoof emails. It's just out of control at this point, the number that I get. You gotta wonder, like, if some people fall for those, right? How many people... Because they just send you so much shit. Like, I get so many emails for things I don't have. Accounts I definitely don't have. And they act like, oh, this account has been compromised. This account has been frozen. Click here. Click here. That's all they want you to do is click there. And the second you click there, you're fucked. You don't click. But it's every day I get tons of them now. The fake, the fish emails. And you got to wonder if someone wasn't well versed in that shit, if they just, it might be real. And they click on it. Next thing you know, you're screwed, right? Anyway. All right, guys. thanks for a good show. Appreciate it. Good chill time. Great way to end the streaming week for sure. And thanks very much for watching the Level 1 podcast. Until next time, my friends. Sorry that I still don't have music. I'm actually thinking within the next week or two I might change this out. I might change this out to something different. I'll have to think about it. But anyway, thank you guys, and I will see you soon.